Moog has officially brought back their Mooger-Fooger effect processors. These were designed by Bob Moog himself, but this time they're bringing them back as plugins, and it's definitely going to be something that's going to satisfy every single budget. Hang on to your seats, buckle up, we're going to get into this. Hello everyone, I'm Tiger Arcade, welcome to my channel, and I'm going to be giving you an overview today of the Mooger-Fooger line that Moog has announced they're bringing back as plugins. They promise to bring the musicality, interconnectivity, and tone of the original Mooger-Foogers, but with updates to allow artists to use them within their favorite DAW. So let's break this down. What's all included in this bundle of these Mooger-Fooger pedals? Let me just start off by saying, if you don't know what these are, they're effect processors. What does that mean? Well, essentially, you need something else to be able to use them. They manipulate the sound of something else, so they're meant to be played with your other gear. So these were first introduced in 1998 by Bob Moog. Eventually, they were discontinued by 2018 after 20 years of production, which is crazy. These are the last remnants alongside the Etherwave Theremin and the Voyager synthesizer to be developed by Bob Moog himself, so that's something really cool. The goal of Bob Moog was to unite the world of musicians, of guitarists, bassists, keyboardists, keyboardists? I don't know if that's how you say that. Anyways, it was an idea to, mesh all of that together, bring them all together. The idea was a marriage between stomp boxes and rack mount effects that could be used by any artist. Lastly, the Mooger-Foogers were extremely groundbreaking. It's not something that I had personally owned, but I am familiar with them. I always wanted them. They were always so expensive, It's something that is now going to be within our reach, something that we can actually use and play with. That's actually created by Moog. We can trust that it's going to be true to the originals, and not just some other company trying to, make a clone of it or something. What made them really groundbreaking was that they had, multiple inputs and outputs in a pedal. That included CV, MIDI, mono, stereo, expression control, things of that nature. There just wasn't anything really like them on the market that I'm familiar with, and so it really made them stand out. So first up, there is the MF101 low-pass filter. It's a classic Moog ladder filter with an envelope follower for dynamic control. Next is the MF102 ring modular. It pairs a wide range of a carrier oscillator with an LFO for effects from soft tremolo to far out clangorous ring modulation tones. Next is the MF103 stage phaser. It's a descendant of the original 1970s rack-mounted Moog phaser with an onboard LFO. Next is the MF104 analog delay. It features a rich full-body delay and modulation circuit that has remained highly sought after to this day. It's actually one of my personal favorites. Next is the MF-105 Murph. It's a groundbreaking effect combining a resonant filter bank with a pattern generator and skewing envelope for vibrant animation of an incoming sound. Next is the MF-107 Freak Box, and this is a box of gnarly synced VCO sounds with envelope and FM modulation. Last but not least, the MF-108 Cluster Flux. This is my favorite one, you guys, that I have played out of this whole bundle. It's a flexible processor that can modulate between chorus, flanging, and vibrato. So let's talk about price. You know, I had mentioned at the beginning of the video that this is going to be something that's going to be accessible to every budget, most budgets, I should say. These are going to be currently going for an introductory price of $150 US. Keep in mind, though, that the MSRP is $250. So this price is eventually going to change. Just something to be aware of. The Moog Fogers are also going to be sold only as a collection, not as individual products. Okay, so now let's talk about the pros and cons. So pros first. I honestly think that the current price is a steal considering the value of each of them being sold as hardware. If you guys look online at the price of any of the Moog Fogers, I mean, some of them cost more than others, some of them a lot more than others. In comparison, one Moog Foger is still more expensive than the introductory price of $150. You know, after having used these for some time now, I honestly think that they sound and function really well. And something that's very typical of Moog is they make it very user-friendly. You know, you can look at it and it can be intimidating, but as soon as you look at their resources available, it really makes it more accessible and understandable. If I can use it, then you guys can use it. So keep that in mind. Okay, the dreaded cons. I'm sure you guys are all very curious about this. Again, I've been using these for some time now, and my personal opinion is I would actually prefer if they were sold separately. If the price can be as low as it can, how much could that price be if I actually just wanted to buy them individually? You know what I mean? There's only a few that I actually think I would continue to use with my music, and that's just my personal preference. My favorites are the filter, the 101, the 104 delay, and then the 108 cluster flux, and then sometimes the phaser. But that's just my own opinion. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have different uses. Most of these effect processors are going to be confusing to the general public. and they're not going to be for everyone even after you understand how to use them. I know that I just said that Moog offers a lot of resources to understand them, but at the same time, I don't know if all of these are going to be useful to everyone. These are obviously plugins, and so you're going to have the challenge of not being able to use the inputs and the outputs on the back, maybe as intended, like with the hardware. They do offer interconnectivity. It's just not going to be the same. I've already played with the interconnectivity, and it's fun to connect and be able to connect certain aspects of one Moog Foger to another Moog Foger, just as if you were patching a modular or semi-modular synthesizer. So that is kind of fun to be able to do that. It will just take some experimenting, getting used to, and I mean, they're trying their best within a software plugin environment. So in conclusion, the Moog Foger plugin bundle includes 7 beautifully recreated effect processors that were originally created by Bob Moog himself. I think that they sound and function really well and are as good as what my hardware offers. For example, my Matriarch's delay, the filters. I was honestly blown away at how similar, and it's so uniquely and distinctly Moog. You're like, oh my God, that sounds amazing, and that's totally a Moog filter. That's totally a Moog delay. You know, it just breathes Moog, and I love it. It sounds great. These, however, again, may not appeal to everyone, as it requires a bit of a learning curve, but they do offer presets to kind of get you going, and then you can manipulate, tweak it from there. It's cool to be able to save your own and have interconnectivity. I mean, there's just a lot to be able to expand upon. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know any questions or comments you might have. I've linked the product in the description below, and that is all, you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.